Hey everyone, what is up? My name is Anna and welcome to or back to my YouTube channel. Today's video is going to be all about keeping a training log. So before I dive into everything that I'm going to talk about regarding a training log, I just want to make a note and point out that your training log needs to be best catered for you. So whatever that's going to look like to you, however you want to format your training log, it should be convenient, it should be easy, it should be fun to write in almost every day, and it should hold you accountable as well. But first things first, why should you keep a training log? I'm going to talk about a few reasons right now. They all kind of go hand in hand, but I do believe that they are all important to note separately as to why you should be logging your training pretty much every day. Reason number one, it keeps track how you feel on a day-to-day basis. So what I mean by that is you want to log all the circumstances you're running under. If you only slept 3 hours, log it. If you aren't really feeling that well, log it. If you feel on cloud 9 today, the sun is shining, it is gorgeous, weather is perfect, you want to make sure to log that. Those little details as you're training, they do matter whether you realize it or not, and they're so important to have once you look back on your training log for reference. Number 2, training logs serve as a great reference for past and future training. So kind of going off what I was just saying before, there are patterns that usually kind of develop throughout a training cycle. So having a training log and writing down everything, all the details in your training log can be great to look back on to figure out what doesn't or doesn't work for you. You might figure out that back-to-back 60-mile weeks have your legs feeling good, fresh, you're stacking in all the mileage, but you might find that a few 70-mile weeks kind of leave you feeling lethargic or hurt or even sick, just cause your body to break down. So little details like that you wouldn't really be able to gather without a training log are super beneficial for you moving forward then into your next training cycles. Number 3, injury prevention. So obviously this is a really important point as us runners or athletes don't want to be sidelined at all. We don't want to get injured. So with our journal, say we start to feel an ache or a pain come up during one of our runs or outside of one of our runs, you can always look back on your training journal to see if there's anything along your past training the past few weeks that may have caused this ache or pain. And then moving forward, you can use that to hopefully prevent another injury and kind of see what you need to change moving forward. The next reason to keep a training log is because it boosts your performance. So it sounds kind of cliche, but something that I've learned over the past how many years, like 5 years keeping a training log, is that it is so satisfying to look back and see all of the miles, all of the workouts, all of the strength work that you have put in. And going back before maybe a tough workout or a tough race and you're feeling nervous and you really need that confidence boost, you can go back and look at your training log and see all the work you have put in for that nice little, okay, like I can do this. Look at everything I put in up to this point. Your training log is literally just a way for you to log your goals. It's complete evidence of all the work that you have put in. And so use that to your advantage and use that to feel good and feel confident stepping on that next line of a workout or a race. So the last reason I'm going to talk about why you should keep a training log is because it can serve as a place for you to reflect on your runs, your goals and your dreams, your running, and your life just in general. So like I said, your training log should be catered to a way that you like and you enjoy filling out. But for me personally, having my training log as a place that I can talk about pretty much anything, running or not, it just serves as a concrete foundation for me to really think about my goals and what I want to pursue, whether that's in races or, like I said, outside of races. Holds me a little bit more accountable and just makes it that much more real. Okay, so I've talked a little bit about the importance of a training log, but now you might be wondering, how exactly do I log? The first way that I'm going to talk about is simply Google Docs. I've actually been using Google Docs for the past 2 or 3 years as I've been recording my training. I find it kind of easier just because, if I'm on my computer that day, I can just quickly type everything up that I need to, and boom, it's done. So if you choose to use Google Docs, I always begin with titling my Google Doc for the training cycle I'll be logging for. Then I create 4 different columns, as you see right here. So I have one for the date, and then one for the workout, mileage, pace, whatever that looks like that day, whether it's an easy run. I also try to note the time that I'm getting out on my run, just because I personally like to keep it consistent or try to, and see how my body reacts to, getting outside, whether it's an early morning run or maybe an afternoon double or something like that. I then have another column for the conditions. That would be weather, how I felt, and like the circumstances under which I was running, which is what I brought up in the beginning of the video. So, whether I was feeling sick or whether I had, period cramps, or whether I was just feeling really great and my legs felt fresh. That's what I use this column for right here. And then the last column here, for any strength training or stretching I did that well, that's where I'm going to put right here. I just find that it's incredibly effective for me, and I want to make sure to always note my strength training because it's a huge part of training as well, with injury prevention and just becoming stronger. So I found this way with Google Doc just to be really effective for me. Like I said, it's super convenient, it's online, super easy, and with having those 4 columns there, kind of just formats it out for me, so I know exactly what I need to write, and it's kind of like every day, I find that having these 4 columns with the information is helpful for me as I look back on my training. My most recent training log that I have been using is this Believe training journal. I am actually obsessed with this thing. It's my second time using it. I used it a couple years back in college before I started using Google Docs, but I'm back with this one. I'm like 2 weeks into logging my training in this one, so it's relatively new, and I am so obsessed with it. I can't recommend it enough. 2 professional runners have written this, Lauren Fleshman and then Roisin McGettigan Dumas. And throughout the journal, there is just so much positivity and inspiration for a runner. And for me, that's something that I just really thrive off of and I love. Like they even have a page to make your goals take shape, and you talk about your goals and your reasons and the steps that you're going to take to achieve those goals. They have check-in pages where you can kind of write in and check in on, all of your running and all of your training, how it's been going. And then of course they have the calendar pages too, and you can write this week's focus, what's going to hold you back that week, what's an obstacle you might overcome, and then of course there's tons of inspirational quotes throughout the book. So I just can't recommend this training journal enough. I'll put a link below in my bio from their website. I'll also put a link from Amazon as well, but I'm obsessed, and I will never not use this training log just because I think it's so great for my mental health and for my training and for me to move forward and improve. Another popular one that I know of, I've never used before, is called Running to Win. So this is just simply another online platform that you can use. You can connect your Garmin to it. It'll upload all your runs automatically, and you can just fill out your training as you go throughout. A lot of my old teammates have used it. My old team actually used it as an entirety. So like my coach was on it, and you can kind of form teams, so you can keep track of your teammates, and your coach can kind of look back and see how you reflected upon a race or a workout, and then have that open communication there as well. So I do know that's a really good one too, so check that out if you're interested. All right, so the last way I'm going to talk about on here is this app that's on your phone. You can also access it online. It's called Strava, and this app has been growing so much in popularity. I've noticed kind of within the last year, but I don't know, because I've kind of started using it again consistently. But basically it's just an app. You can connect it to the Garmin app or to your watch, whatever kind of watch you might have. You also don't have to connect it if you don't want to. You can always enter in your runs manually. But basically I find it really fun. You can follow all of your friends, teammates, whoever, and it's kind of like a news feed. So your run uploads to your profile, and then on this news feed you can see everyone you know who you follow. You can see their runs as well, the map, their workout, and then you can write in if it was a workout or a long run, how you felt. You can see the elevation gain, your heart rate sometimes if you want that setting. But Strava has been so much fun that I've been using it, so that is another way. If you do decide to use Strava, I always kind of approach that app with a little bit of caution, just because I've gotten caught up in comparisons before while I've been using that app. If I decide to take a day off, I kind of feel guilty, or if I run really slowly, I find that I'm not running for myself anymore, but instead I'm running to prove to all my Strava followers, you know, what I did that day and what's so miraculous about it. Just saying, if you have kind of a past with maybe getting caught up in comparisons and comparing yourself to other runners, then I definitely would, you know, experiment with it, and don't be afraid not to use it. It's not the only training log you need to use. It doesn't matter at the end of the day. What matters most is that you're doing what works for you. And if Strava isn't that, or if any of these methods I've talked about isn't that, that's completely fine. So I'm sure there are many other ways that you can record your training. Those are just a few that I have used or I know of. And like I've emphasized through this video, whatever works for you is going to be the most important. So whatever's going to keep you going back to your training log after your runs every day, or whenever you decide to log it, keeps it consistent, keeps it easy, and keeps you accountable. But training logs are so great, remember, because you can look back for future training, and then also you can just take note of all of the hard work you're putting in and day out. That is evidence of that right there. Sometimes your hard work doesn't really show up in races or some workouts, and it can be really frustrating, but having your training log can remind you on those tougher days, or even on the great days, that you have put in the work, you're serious about your goals, and you want to continue to move forward. All right, so if you have any other methods that I didn't talk about, or if you have any other important reasons why you should keep a training log, feel free to hit me up in the comments below and let me know if I missed anything. But if you made it this far, I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. This is only my second video, so still learning here, still getting used to talking to the camera, all that fun stuff. If you like this video and you watched my last one and you like it, feel free to subscribe and tune in to my next video, which hopefully will be next week on Tuesday. But until then, I hope you can get outside, enjoy some runs, have fun, and like I said last time, happy running.